Hi, Neebs here, and in this video, we're going to be taking a deep dive into some things Respawn could take a look at to make Ranked more engaging and less frustrating. So stay tuned, and let's get all the homies involved. So, I've been noticing a rapid decline in interest when it comes to Ranked in Apex Legends, or even just how the game is played. And what I mean by that is everyone for the past few seasons has encountered some sort of burnout involved with grinding Ranked or playing pubs. Reasons being pubs being pointless and mindless, and Ranked being too one-dimensional. To be honest, I myself have experienced this, and most of it I can contribute to the lack of ways to play the game. It's either hot drop, secure early kills, rat it out through rotates to take God spot, and hopefully winning the game from there. Then there's the option of third partying, a phenomenon that happens regularly in Apex Legends, where a team throws themselves between two other teams fighting to secure RP with a lower effort. But then, this gives you the risk of getting third partied yourself if your team doesn't end the skirmish quickly. Or more often than not, dying off the rotate, which yes, let's be real, not everyone has an IGL with godly positional and map awareness. Hell? Now, I'm not saying this is the case for everyone, but generally speaking, from what I've noticed in the community chatter and hanging out in different levels of Apex streams, there seems to be an overbearing issue that all community players I've come across have expressed. And this is how Apex Ranked or even pubs needs a touch-up. An overhaul, if you will. A homie can only speculate, but this, in my opinion, is a big issue in the player base that could spiral out of control if we don't actively seek out answers for it. And with Season 9 being a huge success, bringing in new and old people alike, I can't think of a more opportune moment than this. I care too much about the game and the people around it.
To set you free. Oh, I see this love is taking over, breaking through my chest and overflow.
So my goals in this video is to start a conversation, get everyone involved, get feedback, but at the same time, be decent human beings about it. We don't want another instance of community lashback like it was in the launch of the Legacy season. Now, be reminded that this is a discussion and a heavily opinionated one at that. So don't take my word as law. If you have any inputs or concerns, please feel free to chatter in the comments section below. Concerns. Well, currently there are only two ways to secure RP, and that is either through kills or placements, and or both. This is a rather frustrating aspect of any BR game, and balancing it is always tricky. Mid-game is generally static, and then there's the issue of Division 4 players, whether Gold 4, Plat 4, Diamond 4, and beyond, any hardstock RP players who can't elevate themselves from the bottom division. It's very frustrating when teamed with someone who mechanically doesn't belong in that rank, or may have fallen out of that skill range due to the lack of playing, burnout, or whatever reason. Then there's third parties, which are heavily RNG based, and I'll get into that later. And the most important topic of this video, the one-dimensional way of playing Ranked or Apex, especially without the reintroduction of limited time events. Now, the LTMs were fun, especially the most recent ones prior to the Legacy update. Let me introduce the goals of this video. We want to add ways to gain RP, introduce ranked demotion that's fair across all divisions of Ranked, equality for all, balance out demotion by giving other incentives to rank up or ways to rank up, steer the meta away from random third parties to more controlled skirmishes around hot areas or objectives, events to be time sensitive, isolated spawning depending on player count, ring level, and adding the benefits of increased variance to each match played by everyone. Now, Neebs, why do you think Apex Legends should even consider this? How do we know it would work? Or do people even want it? What success do you think this would even have? Well, let's take a look at other BR games. Warzone the beloved Call of Duty multiplayer shooter turned BR, which incorporates objectives successfully by adding single-player-esque objectives around the map for the community to complete. Right off the bat, there's something to fight for besides loot, and getting triple landed on, and being punched out by a 3-stack. Scavengers, although not entirely PvP, does revolve around going through the map objectives to level up, loot, or find new ways to survive. A dimension we don't have in Apex, yes, but we are talking about games that incorporate objectives in BR. Tarkov, while not entirely BR, introduces different methods and ways a player can engage and rotate through the map depending on a player's inventory. Eternal Return Black Survival, an item-based survival game. Although it is a MOBA, it does run a character system like Apex Legends on top of being a BR. It has goals and objectives and a vast amount of ways to play and rotate through the map's forbidden zones, depending on your build and the character situation. I can name the many intricacies of these games and why their objectives would work even as a BR. But we can save those discussions for another video. And I'll stick to the reasons why objectives can benefit Apex. As I've mentioned before, player-based burnout is a very real thing. And with a slew of new games coming out, especially with conventions like E3 rapidly approaching this weekend, we have to explore new ways to engage the players in a healthy way. And to be honest, for my mental health as well, please respawn. Please. I'm begging. Now, what gameplay implications can we add? Well, we need to explore new ways to gain RP in-game that promotes diversity per match played. Different ways to play equals good. Promotes controlled skirmishes or quasi-expected firefights around objectives instead of random mindless third-party pushes. Spread out choke points and the timing of rotates. Making legend tokens an actual moving currency in-game might be a good play. Earn legend tokens through dailies and weeklies like it is so right now, but spending tokens and failing to accomplish missions does not refund tokens. This in turn would add additional benefits or reasons for players to log on and complete dailies and weeklies to gain more said tokens. Ideas, resources, modes that we can explore. The goal is to not add anything to Apex Legends that is not already in Apex Legends. So, things we can explore would be like world drops that contains objectives for you or your team to complete and gain more RP. Likewise, blue bins, hacking replicators, scanning kill leader banners, etc. can drop objectives. Now, let's talk about missions here. These missions should be something that's easy to do and doesn't take the primary objective of winning the entire match. So I'm just gonna add a few ideas to get the ball rolling. Bounty. Hunt flyers, cargo bots, loot ticks to complete objective parameters. Secure X objective locations. Example, Mirage Voyage, The Vault, Dropship, Trials, Fight Night, etc. Find 3 objective items and craft for RP and replicators. Escort an item to an extraction within a time limit. Scan a certain beacon or sequence of beacons. Scan or find X amount of banners. Turn on power generators in different areas with batteries or Phoenix kits. Use X amount of heat shields to get to a certain point of the map. After ring X, loot X amount of death boxes. Take an objective and respawn 1 or 2 teammates. To be honest, the list can go on, but these are just a few ways to shake up Apex Legends. You will be expecting to have fights around these objectives, so in theory, that should control the randomness of third parties and shift it to, I'm expecting a third party at these locations. This could potentially even out a negative RP game or games and reduce the player's stress. The benefits of these objectives and what does it cost? Now, this introduces the use of legend tokens to be an actual moving currency in the game. Yes! The potential of getting out of a negative RP game where games and reduce the player's stress is especially big on Discipline. If you're the last one alive or even a solo player, and maybe you want to be the hero that saved everyone's RP. In lower ranks, increase the ways to rank up besides constantly fighting. Oh, you poor bronze players. I'm really hoping this could help. Be able to introduce ranked emotions with less resistance by introducing new, less frustrating ways to gain RP. And last of all, unite the team under another objective besides being the champion could actually be a big thing. Lore-wise, if we really need one to implement these changes smoothly and canonically, an idea could be Crypto Revenant Lobopathy hacking the games to acquire data regarding their lore, scanning beacon, etc. to add something to push the lore forward and make sense with the changes. However the writers want to pen it out. To recap, add new ways to play the game. Add a demotion system that doesn't make everyone angry. Give variance to each match. Combat player burnout. A homie can finally take a breather and not punch his monitor or mold or break his headset. Well, that's it for today's video. Hopefully that gets the conversation going. You can agree or disagree, but I do believe the game could use a little bit of touch-up, and these are just one of the few ways that I thought about to add variance to our beloved game that is Apex Legends. If you liked what you see, make sure you give a homie a thumbs up and subscribe, and follow me on all the socials. This being my first video, I hope it resonates with some people, and I do want to put out more videos like this in the future. Now, something you want me to take a look at or talk about? Do drop your thoughts in the comment section below or add me on Twitter and Neebs. Make sure you stay healthy and remember, learn, teach, repeat. Neebs out.